Hello students, welcome to today's class in data processing. Let's note that this session is being recorded for absent students. And in our last class, we talked about application of ICT. We looked at the full meaning of ICT, which is information communication technology. We looked at the importance of ICT. We looked at ICT tools. So today, we'll be looking at the art of information processing. Now, in case you missed the previous class, you could actually check back through the platform, the video are there. Then you could also check GLD Academy YouTube. The link will be sent to the platform, so you could check it for the previous class. And if you have any question in regards to the previous class, you could actually send it on the platform. I will try to answer it. So at the end of today's class, we'll be looking at the information processes, what it is, what it means. We'll look at the steps involved in information processing and how these steps connect your daily life and future careers. Starting with the definition, what is information processing? Information processing is the systematic way of collecting, arranging, analyzing, and interpreting information to make correct decision. So basically the aim is to make correct decisions. So how do you make decisions? So when you have data or probably there's a problem on ground and hopefully you want to know how to make decision, how do you go about it with the provided information you have on ground? So that is where information processing comes in. Like I said, systematic way of collecting, which is the first stage. You collect the information, you arrange the information, analyze it, and interpret the information to help you. Now, it is based on all these steps that you're able to make correct decision. So don't worry, let's not get overwhelmed with the words. I will explain with example, and hopefully before the end of today's class, you should be able to understand all the wordings. Now let's take an example now. For example, if you want to, let's say you after your exam, you saw your script, let's say your results now, and based on the results, the performance was not that good or it was actually good, depending. Now, probably let's say you want to look at, okay, which subjects am I weak at? Which subject did I perform well? Definitely to get such information, you actually need information on your report card to actually make that decision. Or for example, a patient goes to the clinic or the hospital to be diagnosed of a particular illness. Definitely the doctor will need to collect information about the patient, your temperature, how you feel, and things like that. Now, based on all those information from the patient, you'll be able to make the correct decision and know what to prescribe for the patient. Now, using this class example now you write down your test scores. Your test score, writing it down is actually a raw information. Now, should I say the what is it called now? The test scores now, let's say you have 10 over 20. Now that 10 that I've written down is a raw information because it has not been processed to give us, like, you've not actually made a decision with it yet, so it's just down. Now, the next step is to arrange the scores. Probably you arrange it from the lowest to the highest or from the highest to the lowest. So that is where the arrangement comes in. You organize it in a way that you can actually make your analysis. The analysis part talks about how to check which subject you perform well in. So based on your arrangement and all the scores you have on ground, based on the information on ground, which one did you perform well? Then from there, when you know the subject that you perform well, probably you don't need to work much on it. Then you look at the ones you actually perform poorly. Then at that stage, it will not help you to make the decision on which subject to focus. Then that's where the interpretation and decision making, then you decide which subject to improve on. Okay, you've seen the one you perform well. The next thing you decide to, which one did I perform poorly? Then next time you know, if it's math, you will know how to put your timetable settings right and things like that. So basically, it helps in making decision. Just like I stated earlier, you want to make a critical decision based on something and you need information, you have the information on ground. So these are the steps. First of all, you collect the data, you organize it maybe in a form of a table, in form of a chart, regardless. Then you analyze it. Okay, this information I have, how does it help me to make my decision? Then when you get it, then you now make your decision. Okay, based on this information I have, this one is better, or this is what I should do. Now, why does it matter? Why do you need to process information? Number one, just like I said, it helps in decision making. It helps you to make the right decision. It helps to support problem solving. Just like I said, it's a problem or ground you want to actually solve. It could actually help in that way, because based on the data information you have on ground, you can actually solve it, just like the case of doctors and patients. Then it builds critical thinking. It is important for careers in medicine, in banking, in ICT, engineering, etc. It's not limited to just this, but so many fields. You need to process your data to make strategic decision. Now, let's look at the procedures. It's just basically on information processing. What are the procedures? Basically what we've talked about. But here we are just trying to take each of them and break it down and help us to understand. First stage is collation. Second stage is organization. Third stage is analysis. Then the fourth stage is interpretation. The collation of information, what does it mean? What is it all about? Just like I said, it's where you collect this raw facts, this data, where you collect them. And where can you collect it? You can collect them from books, you can collect them from surveys, you can collect them from interview, internet, etc. There are so many places. For example, your reports, your scores now, you collect them from your report card, definitely. So there's a place definitely you get those information. So the collection place is, the collation is where you collect the raw fact. Example, collecting test scores, customer details, collecting students' attendance. That is when it comes to teachers. So who are the people that actually collect information? We have the researchers. In order for you to make research, you have to have information. The marketers, in order for them to sell, to make good sales, they need to collect data. Then teachers too, they need to collect the attendance of students. They need to collect the information. Initially, they will need your information. A teacher will need information of a student in order to generate the report card. And also to help the teacher to know those that are weak in the class and those that are strong in the class, so that they can make the right decision on how to improve and help those that are weak in class. Then we have the organization of information. So now, after getting this, you have to organize it. For example, as a teacher, if you have the list of all your students now, or your pupils, you can decide to arrange their names according to, in alphabetical order, just like we have it in the register. Or you can decide to arrange their name based on their age, or maybe their report card. Now you can decide to arrange it based on their performance and things like that. So that's where organization comes in. Arranging data, either using table. When it comes to table now, your report card now is in table form, because there are rows and there are columns, where the column has the heading of this, the name of the subject, then the scores is in the rows, each row. You can also arrange it in charts, date order, alphabetical order. Example is what? Arranging test scores in table. Just like I said, your test scores are arranged in tabular form. Your exam scores are arranged in table, rows and column. Doctor arranging patient files by date. So whichever patient enters, their information are being arranged by the date. So if you want to know when last a patient came and when next to expect the patient, that's what they use to actually book appointments and things like that. Then the career, who are the people that organize information that is helpful? You have doctors, we have teachers, database managers. Now the next we'll look at is analysis of information. So after arranging this file, you want to make a decision. How do you go about it? You have to understand and find the main data. So which, just like we said, which course am I good at? You understand? Which course am I not good at? What is wrong? What are the symptoms in your system? What are the symptoms of these patients and things like that? Then example is what? Discovering trends in your performance. You check which one is good, which of the courses you're not good in. Then the career, who are the people that make analysis of information? We have data analysts, we have auditors and engineers. Those are people that are good in analysis of information. When you give them an information, they can analyze it for you. And based on those analysis, you can actually interpret it and make correct decision. So the interpretation of information is to draw conclusion and make decision based on the analysis, based on the collected information on ground. What are the correct decisions I can make? For example, now, the last stage is the decision stage actually. So example, focusing on a weak subject will be your decision. Okay, let me focus on this, which is really well, let me focus on it. Another example is doctor prescribed treatment based on the test results. So based on these results run on these patients, these are the prescription, this is what I'll prescribe for you to have, you understand? Now the career, which are people that are actually good in interpretation of information, are what? Managers, the planners, and the consultants. So whenever information is being analyzed, is being collected and analyzed, they are the one, they can actually help you to make decision based on what you have on ground, based on the information on ground. They can help you to make decision on what to do and what not to do. In summary, now, information processing steps. We just talked about processing of information. So first, we talked about the collation. If we remember, collection, we collect your data, organization, arrange it in a well manner so that it can help you to let it not be scattered. Like you have to arrange it so that it will be easy for you to analyze it. Then analysis, like knowing what it means, understanding the information you have, then interpreting it and making decision. So we've actually come to the end of today's class. If there's any question, please kindly drop it in the platform. Then we have the assignments. Now the assignments, please try to, as much as possible, to attempt it and submit it to the group or on the Google form before the next class, which is on Thursday. The link for submission will be sent to the platform, so try as much as possible to do it and submit it. If there be any question, if there's any confusion, either regards the teaching or the assignment, please communicate to me. Just send it to the group chat, I will reply. So the question is, write 2 situations in your daily life where you used information processing without knowing it. So it's not that hard. All you just need to do is to think about maybe a time in your life where you actually use information processing without you, because we actually do it most of the time without us knowing to make a decision. So just think of 2 situations in your daily life where you use information without knowing it. So that is the end of today's class. Thank you for coming to this class. Hope to see you in our next class.